Antiochus IV, the uprising, which began in 167 BC, was led by Mattathias Asmoneus and his son Judas the Maccabee, who came from the village of Modin, 10 kilometers north of Emmaus. One great battle pitched the army of Judas Maccabee against the army of the Seleucids in the plain of Emmaus, where the latter had established their camp. A few years later, the Seleucid army recaptured Emmaus, and General Bacchides erected a fortress to protect his strategic place. During the First Roman period, from the year 63 to the year 4 BC, Emmaus became an administrative center that was more important than Gezer, at the foot of which passed the Via Maris. Joseph Flavius, a Jewish historian, often mentions this township, which afforded the Roman armies the advantages of its geographical situation. After the death of Herod the Great, the country entered into an unsettled period. This was marked by rebellions throughout the country that were severely repressed by the Romans. In 4 BC, Emmaus was in fact razed and burnt down under the orders of the General Varus in retaliation for the attack on a Roman garrison by a Jewish outlaw named Actrongus. This is why at the time of Jesus, Emmaus was only a village. About 30 AD, Jesus appeared after his resurrection to 2 of his disciples on their way to Emmaus, and explained the scriptures to them. They recognized him after his breaking of the bread at Cleopas' house in Emmaus. From the Gospel according to St. Luke. Now that same day, 2 of them were going to a village called Emmaus, about 160 stadia from Jerusalem. They were talking with each other about everything that had happened. As they talked and discussed these things with each other, Jesus himself came up and walked along with them, but they were kept from recognizing him. He asked them, "What are you discussing together as you walk along?" They stood still, their faces downcast. One of them, named Cleopas, asked him, "Are you the only one visiting Jerusalem who does not know the things that have happened there in these days?" "What things?" he asked. "About Jesus of Nazareth," they replied. "He was a prophet, powerful in word and deed before God and all the people. The chief priests and our rulers handed him over to be sentenced to death, and they crucified him. But we had hoped that he was the one who was going to redeem Israel. And what is more, it is the 3rd day since all this took place. In addition, some of our women amazed us. They went to the tomb early this morning, but didn't find his body. They came and told us that they had seen a vision of angels who said he was alive. Then some of our companions went to the tomb and found it just as the women had said, but they did not see Jesus." We said to them, "How foolish you are, and how slow to believe all that the prophets have spoken. Did not the Messiah have to suffer these things and then enter his glory?" And beginning with Moses and all the prophets, he explained to them what was said in all the scripture concerning himself. As they approached the village to which they were going, Jesus continued on as if he were going farther. But they urged him strongly, "Stay with us, for it is nearly evening. The day is almost over." So he went in to stay with them. When he was at the table, he took bread, gave thanks, broke it, and began to give it to them. Then their eyes were opened and they recognized him, and he disappeared from their sight. They asked each other, "Were not our hearts burning within us while he talked with us on the road and opened the scripture to us?" They got up and returned at once to Jerusalem. There they found the 11 and those with them assembled together and saying, "It is true, the Lord has rescued